Imagine you're receiving neurosurgery and your surgeon decides to pull a little prank on you, severing your optic nerves and rerouting some of your auditory nerve fibers to your visual cortex, thus, in theory, allowing sound to elicit the conscious experience of vision. What would that look like? Now, in reality, you would almost certainly be permanently blind. But let's imagine a more whimsical world in which your brain slowly learns to interpret sound as a visual experience. The following is how your brain might adapt to experience sound visually. Now at first, you see absolutely nothing, but as your brain adapts to its new configuration, you start to see flashes of light in response to sound. You are now able to experience the amplitudes of sound waves as brightness. The lower the amplitude, the dimmer the light. The higher the amplitude, the brighter the light. At this point, our sound vision is very poor and is not able to discriminate much detail. For example, it can't tell what direction a sound is coming from. But your brain is an incredible organ and so continues to improve its new perceptual ability. It learns to separate the sound entering the left ear from the sound entering the right ear, perceiving them as two separate images. Eventually, the inputs from your left and right ears are merged into one cohesive image. At this point, your brain may decide that it would be more insightful to perceive the sum and difference of your left and right inputs instead of the inputs themselves. Your brain performs calculations to create the mid signal, which is the sum of the left and right inputs, and the side signal, which is the difference between the left and right inputs. This new mid-side perception is beneficial for perceiving the space of a sound, in which central elements of the sound are separated from the wider elements. Thus, you now perceive mid-information in the center of your visual field and side information in your periphery. Although it is helpful to perceive sound in this way, something is indeed lost. Now, you are no longer able to discriminate whether a sound is coming from the left or the right, which one could argue is pretty important. But your brain doesn't want to choose one or the other, so what does it do? It decides to perceive both at the same time. That is, mid-side information is overlaid on top of left-right information in your visual field, such that you can discriminate both. We can now perceive the spatial information of sound without sacrificing the direction information. But there is a dimension of vision that has heretofore been left out of the picture entirely. I'm talking, of course, about color. Over time, you begin to acquire the ability to perceive the frequency content of sound as color, in which low frequencies are interpreted as red and high frequencies are interpreted as violet. This diagram shows how your brain might map frequency to color. Here, the frequency content of the sound determines the relative amount of red, green, and blue in the color that you perceive. Most sound that you interact with on a daily basis contains a spectrum of frequencies that vary in amplitude. The frequency with the highest amplitude within a particular color's band of sensitivity is what determines the relative amount of that color. The color that you wind up perceiving is formed from the specific combination of red, green, and blue elicited from that sound's particular frequency spectrum. We are currently only perceiving one color at a time. The final advancement our brain makes is to derive different colors for left, right, mid, and side, such that we can now perceive differences in their respective frequency spectra. This is our final sound vision. I hope you enjoy.